Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Sandisk. It is time for another update, and in the case of this stock we have been favoring continuation to higher prices within at least one of the scenarios we've had in play. Now, to be absolutely clear, the white scenario is not an extension of the yellow scenario, and since we have managed to extend directly higher without building the larger wave 4 in yellow, it does imply strongly that most likely the white interpretation is the one in charge, that most likely, if we cannot hold from now on the white levels of support, there is a rather good chance that a more substantial top would be in within a quite major wave 3, that a significant wave 4 correction could be expected afterwards. Now, with that said, it is still possible that we may need to turn back to the yellow scenario, but as far as it stands right now, at least within this internal structure, I believe that it is not going to be the most likely to play out, as within the current structure, we have gotten the next wave up, we have managed to continue this idea of an impulse to be building in this structure, meaning that 3 waves up within the wave 3 is not really a likely outcome, meaning that I cannot track a larger ending diagonal in the yellow wave 5. So I could actually go ahead and even change this count in yellow to a white scenario where I am still looking for it to extend even higher. I am still looking for this wave 5 to be playing out as part of the larger wave 3. Now, moving on into the internal structure. Previously, I have shared with you this area of support for an internal wave 4. So when I actually get a top within this wave 5, I can actually start looking for the last large wave 4 and the wave 5 to form a more substantial top within this move up. Now, with that said, I am actually considering another possibility as well, also helped by the fact that this wave 4 is actually a bit short. And I am starting to consider that it is rather possible that this wave 3 had never topped, that this wave 5 had never topped, that instead this would have been only a wave 1 to the upside. I would have here a wave 2 correction. And right now it would be building a wave 3, 4 and a 5 before having this wave 3 form a more substantial top. This would work out into an extended wave 5. That will remain a major possibility I am tracking, and I will be tracking exactly that, but within a slightly different color, let's say blue. And within this structure, I expect that even once the wave 3 has a top in, I wouldn't need to look long for a wave 4 correction and a wave 5 to complete only this as an internal wave 5, and that would actually imply that once we have a top in within this movement, within this blue structure, I can expect 2 additional 4-5 patterns to complete the entire uptrend within this structure, within this white wave 3. Quite likely leading even beyond $3,000 actually, possibly into the $4,000 region, to be honest. Now, regardless of that, we actually need to fulfill some expectations to be able to trust such an outcome, such a scenario. And firstly, the most important one is to build an impulse within the wave 3, but then secondly, it would be to reach the ideal target for this wave 3 in blue, which is at the 138.2% extension of the wave 1 at $2,550. Not reaching such levels is actually a sign of weakness, and sure, it might be building the 5 waves up, but it could be within this wave 5. It doesn't need to be the wave 3 in blue that would allow an internal wave 4 and a wave 5 to complete the structure. So until we actually reach those levels, this ideal target for the wave 3, and we do this within the idea of an impulse, we have to be ready for the larger correction once this wave up is done. So we go into an even smaller time frame where I actually believe we can quite easily, at least at this point in time, track this idea of an impulse. And we actually have a few options of what we could track in such a structure, but primarily, my main focus would currently be for this to have been a triple 1-2 setup, where this would have been my wave 3 up, the wave 4 down, and this would be the wave 5. within this interpretation, I wouldn't care too much about the most internal wave tree that I have shared with you. I would actually care for the structure from the second 1-2 setup, where this would be a 1-2, and we would be looking to complete a wave 3 in this move up. A wave 4 would then follow, and the wave 5. Why? Well, it is because this wave 4 is where I consider a possible opportunity. Once we have a top within this wave 3, we expect a retracement, which would do two things. It would provide clarity in terms of where within this structure we are actually situated. And then secondly, it would provide opportunity because it would imply a retracement. It would imply that we would have very clear levels of support that we know we must hold for this structure to still be able to deliver us a reliable setup. Assuming a top would be within this white wave tree, I would have to watch the levels of support between $2,030 down to $1,870. If we get a sustained break below the 50% retracement, it would be a very strong indication that this move up is actually done, that the white wave 5 is most likely in, and that we need to be prepared for this stock to actually see a much larger correction, quite possibly leading back into the levels this entire move to the upside actually started from. So we could actually be looking very, very easily, even for a 30% drop to happen if we cannot hold these critical levels of support. Of course, as we push higher within this structure, within this internal wave tree, we would need to adjust the levels of support, but I cannot predict where the top would actually form within this structure. So all I can really do is share with you the levels that we currently have in place, because even though the structure does seem rather suggestive of continuation to higher prices, potentially quite strongly, the correction might start. At this point in time, it is not possible to know where this wave 3 top will actually end up. So within this interpretation that I am tracking here, I primarily expect to see, once I have this wave 3 top in, a couple of 4-5 patterns to build this as a larger impulse. I want it to be clear that it is not necessary, and this structure could quite easily top once this move up is complete, or with a single wave 4 and a wave 5. Because it is possible for this wave 4 to have instead bottomed here. It is possible for this wave 4 to have instead bottomed here, where, yes, we wouldn't need any further highs once this wave up is complete. Now, before we end the video here, let's actually have a quick look at the internal structure. And primarily, within this move up, I could consider this to have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be my immediate and primary expectation, but that would imply we hold the internal levels of support for direct continuation to higher prices, and ideally we see a deeper retracement. And I always feel like I have to mention that moving directly higher is of course entirely possible. We don't need to do anything, but these are the expectations that I want to see to have a clear path forward, to be interested in the opportunities for this stock. And for now, we will stop here. And if you want even more from me, you can check out the Patreon. But other than that, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. And if you enjoyed the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.